New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
New Thought Media Network presents A Grand Vision, a 30-minute exploration of the emergent vision of New Thought Media Network. Get ready to explore the Grand Vision.
And hello again, dear ones. Dr. Robert with you here on a Monday afternoon. It's 4 o'clock on the Mountain Time Zone, and that means it is time for A Grand Vision. The opportunity I take each week to share with you a bit about what's happening around the network and what we imagine or what we see as the emerging vision for New Thought Media Network. And I love to do this program on Mondays because, number one, I get to share what has come through on our weekly visioning for the Grand Vision as well. So for those that may not know what I'm talking about, well, every Monday morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Time, we share in a spiritual practice where we get to take a look at the emerging vision for your life and for this mighty ministry. So we invite you to come and join us for that on Mondays. And I'll do a quick shout out. Hello, Shay. Good to see you, dear one. Happy day to you as well. Glad to see you here. Glad to know you're with us. Now, and anyone else that's watching, please feel free to shout along, give a shout out, say something, comment along, let me know where you are, let me know what you're doing. We'll give you a shout out as well. So, all right. So I love to start each week by diving in to, again, what's emerging as the grand vision for our mighty ministry. And not everybody shares their vision with me. Many people, a handful do, and most of our regulars do. However, what came through for me today was a physical community built among the landscape, a village contributing to a new society. And this is going to be important, a new society. That's a thing I think is emerging in a big way. And I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. Giving itself to humanity's evolution, contributing to a world that works for all life. Really enjoy that. And we're going to talk about that concept of a world that works for all here today as well. So stay tuned, stay with me. I promise you're going to enjoy what we got coming. All right. What else did we get? Linda Plaster shared, I saw a huge hillside of aspen trees and was very aware of the connection of all the trees' roots. We are one. Yum. I love the yum. And it's so appropriate. I love how spirit works because the aspens have long been an icon, an image for me. And as I look at the likes here, I see Dane Craig gave us a thumbs up. Thank you, Dane. I know that you know just how important the aspens are and how magical a good aspen grove can be. So thank you for that. Thanks for that thumbs up there. And yeah, the aspens are a magical experience because they're some of the largest living organisms on the planet. Aspen grows, their strength comes from their connection, not from the depths of their roots. Their roots are rather shallow, and one or two aspens alone have a hard time standing up to the weather, to the conditions of the world. But a mighty grove, a large grove, has a greater opportunity of survival because of their interconnectedness. Yes. Maria Zeta shared all the way from Manila. Thank you, Maria. I know you might not be here now because it was the early evening at your time. So it's probably, I think, in the middle of the morning your time now. But she shared to be a conscious co-creator of a global wellness academy. Now, that's the first time we've heard that, but that fits right in with our vision. To be a conscious co-creator of a global wellness academy and empowerment community. There's that word community and empowerment again. An ambassador and on-ground liaison working together with conscious creators for sustainable loving with nature and mankind. Pretty cool stuff, if you ask me. I love how it all works. And Dear Shay is chiming in. A new society, intentional housing community coming up. Exactly. An intentional community that has housing, yes, among other things. So it looks like we're in the global wellness business. We're in the empowerment business. We're in the housing business. We're in the co-creator business. We're in a lot of places. And that's what we're seeing as an emerging vision for this ministry. So I'm going to encourage you and invite you to join us next Monday morning, 7 a.m. Mountain Time, for our next community visioning, and let the power of the one, the power of the vision itself, emerge and reveal itself through you, and then you get to share that with us. You get to share that with all of us. So, all right, now moving on just a little bit. We talk a lot about intentional communities. We talk a lot about getting together and doing things together. And there is also this piece that I think is really important, that each of us does our individual work. And I know that happens. And I know that is the gateway and the entryway from so many people, is the personal empowerment work. And what happens is, I believe, is the more we do our personal empowerment, the more we're better able to serve the idea of an expanded community, a new society, all the newness that is happening around the planet. And what I want to bring forward today is a great book, and I'm going to encourage you to buy this book and read it, because starting at the beginning of the year, we are going to do an in-depth dive and an in-depth study of this book. Before I tell you what it is, I want to share a paragraph out of this with you. A world that works for all is not achievable without restructuring our priorities, our attitude, and our culture. We cannot tinker with this. The change must be fundamental. An evolutionary shift towards spiritual compassion and a corresponding shift in our actions. In short, a transformation of head, heart, and hands. We must work on ourselves first and then be prepared to do the work on our culture and institutions. Sounds a lot like what I was just saying, right? Now that comes out of this book, Creating a World That Works for All by Sharif Abdullah. And some of you have heard me talk about Sharif before. I'm going to drop his website in the chat box. And rather than, typo, erase, cancel. Here we go. Let's try this one. Nope, not that one either. Stop. Man, my fingers are not working today all that well. Third time's a charm. I'm going to look before I hit enter this time. Okay, third time's a charm. Here we go. commonway.org. I'm going to encourage you to buy the book from his website. Rather than going to Barnes & Nobles or Amazon or any of the other online outlets, I encourage you to go get this from them directly, because that way more of your money stays with Commonway, and they are doing amazing work. And this book was written way back in 1999. Now, many of you may know that Reverend Elzia and I did a great interview with Sharif recently on the New Thought Today program. You can look that up on our website, on the archives, or on our YouTube page. Just head on over to YouTube and look for New Thought Today. Search for New Thought Today, Sharif Abdullah. We did a great interview with him, and that led to I attended a couple of workshops that he did last week. And really, what he is talking about is that we are in the throes of birthing a new community now, or excuse me, a new society. Now, part of that, what that means is in the metamorphosis, and he likes to use the concept of the caterpillar and the butterfly. What better? There is no better analogy than that. That in within the within the caterpillar, there is an intense purpose, and that's to eat everything it possibly can. And it does that very, very well. And when the caterpillar's time of eating is done, it just stops doing that. And that's when the metamorphosis begins into the chrysalis and the imaginal cells. And I imagine you have heard most of this, then you know how all this works. And then eventually a butterfly emerges. Well, Sharif posits that we are currently in that state where we have just about reached the end of the caterpillar stage. I don't know that we can consume much more of planet Earth. I don't know that the current culture, the current society, that we can go much further without that. With that, we are breaking down day by day, and things are falling by the wayside day by day. So we are just about to, well, as the caterpillar does, attach our butts to a tree limb and start to dissolve. But this isn't a bad thing. We have to honor everything that got us to where we are today. And now maybe this is happening in your life. Maybe it's happening in your work life. Maybe it's happening in your relationships. I know I see it happening in institutions all over the place. One look at the United States government, we can see it happening left and right. The breakdown has begun. The dissolving has begun. And not everybody recognizes this. Not everybody's understanding this just yet. So, but it has. And that means we are now on the verge of starting to take all those imaginal cells and create a new society. And this is what we're going to study throughout the starting early next year. We're going to do a book study on creating a world that works for all. We're going to do a book study, and it just, look at this, just landed in my mailbox today. I'm literally opening this up to show it to you as we speak. Practicing, my blur is on, practicing the 12 steps of inclusion. Now I haven't even looked at this yet. I'm about to, and my idea is that if we read A World That Works for All in the first part of the year, let's say the first quarter of next year, then in the second quarter, in the springtime, we can start using this workbook, practicing the 12 steps of inclusion. And what that's going to lead us to is an even deeper exploration of Sharif's work. And we're going to do this along with some other friends. And I'm not going to talk about that just yet because I'm still working on the particulars. However, I am going to invite you right now to pull out your calendar. Do it with me. If you're on a computer, pull up your calendar program. If you use a paper calendar, that's okay too. And I want you to save some dates. Because next year, on May 3rd, 4th, and 5th, so that's the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th of May, we are going to have a New Thought Media Network community gathering. It's going to be up in Vernonia, Oregon. It's going to be at Camp Cedar Ridge. And we're still working on a lot of the details on what exactly is going to happen and what we're doing. However, I want you to save those dates because we are going to have a community gathering and we're going to get together and we're going to be talking a lot more about how this ministry, how this organization, not just we're not just here to make money. We're not here just to get people's stuff up on the internet. We're not here to just create entertainment. That's a vital part of it, and that's a necessary part of it. But I believe we are here to be part of this change, to be part of the birthing of a new society. And that means that it's imperative for us to get together on occasion, to have a family camp out, a family reunion, a community gathering, whatever we want to call it, a societal visioning. Ooh, I like that. I might have to use that too. And so I'm encouraging you, just save the dates right now. We don't need to know why. We don't need to know exactly what's going to happen. We don't need to know how it's going to happen. We just stay in the place of knowing that next year, May 3rd, 4th, and 5th, we are coming together as a family, as a spiritual community, to be part of this great experiment. Not experiment. It's not an experiment. It's an experience. To be part of this great experience of stepping into and supporting the evolution of human consciousness, and in that, creating a new society, creating new cultural norms. Not everybody's going to get it. Some people are going to laugh at us. Some people are going to think we're crazy. That's okay, because that's the caterpillar. Caterpillar doesn't know what it's doing. When the caterpillar stops eating, it doesn't understand why it has stopped eating. When it attaches its butt to a tree twig, it doesn't understand why it's doing it. If you ask my family, they will tell you that for many years now, I've been saying why is an irrelevant question. There's no answer to the question why. People say why. The answer is because. And so we're going to let go of the why, and we're going to step into envisioning what. I know that Sharif himself has also put on his calendar a very special date, because he intends March 21st, I believe, or was it March 24th? I got to. I'm going to have to go back and look at my notes. In March of next year, he'll be making, and the Common Way organization will be making a declaration, if you will. Now, I don't know what that declaration is going to say, but it pushed me to say, what if we create our own as well? And so in the coming months, between now and May, we're also going to create a declaration, not of what we don't want. See, if you ask people, well, what's the future going to look like? They say, well, it's a world where we're free of racism, where there's no more sexism, where there's no more misogyny, where there's no more race-based hatred and this. And that's okay to start there. But I believe we want to go another step. We don't want to talk about what we don't want. We want to talk about what we do want. For those that are familiar with the Centers for Spiritual Living, many years ago, there was a group of statements that were put forth called the Global Heart Vision. And truthfully, I have lost my digital copies of the original Global Heart Vision. So if anybody out there has the originals from way back in, it would have been 2002, 2003 maybe, the original Global Heart Vision, I would love to see those. Please send them to me. And Centers for Spiritual Living is still utilizing an idea around of a global vision. And there's a number of different statements, and they all center around what we do envision. A world where borders are irrelevant, a world where there's a renewed emphasis on art and beauty and aesthetics, a world where everyone knows there is more than enough of everything necessary, where there's enough shelter and food, and everyone has access to that shelter and that food. And that's part of what we're going to be doing. New Thought Media Network started. There's a couple of words in there we don't use. Let's put an A at the beginning. A, new thought on media. We are having a new thought around media. We are having a new thought on media. We are having a new thought on about media. And in the new society, media is going to be present. It's not going away. We just want to shift. We want to shift from the media that wants to break us down. We want to shift from the media that wants to keep us separate. We want to shift, and we're gonna early in the year we're gonna take a fast as well from old media, so that we can allow more of the new media to flow into our lives. If you're with me, give me a yes. Give me a shout out in the comments. If you're with me, if this is making sense, if you understand what I'm saying, let me know. Type in yes in the comments and let me know, because after 20 years of being in this movement, with over 55 years of being on this planet, of all the things I've seen, of all the things I've been exposed to, thank you, Shay, yes, of all the things I've been exposed to, I cannot imagine a more important mission at this time than to be part of building a new society, birthing a new, we're not building, we're birthing a new society. And it's incredibly important. And we're going there. I'm going there. I know many friends that want to go there. And I can't tell you how many new thought leaders I have spoken with in the past few years that are absolutely on board with this idea. We just haven't had a framework. We haven't had a framework, a template that helps us get there. And I believe that's emerging right now. I believe we are in the midst of it. And I want to see New Thought Media Network play a role in that. I know it sounds huge. And to some, it may even sound impossible. But I love the way we can turn words in this movement, and impossible becomes I am possible. What is possible? How can we change the institutions? Not just so they're more inclusive, but so that the institutions around us recognize our oneness. See, I wear this sweatshirt, deeply we are one. And someday I might tell you about where I got this phrase, because I didn't make it up, somebody else did. But I recognized that it speaks to what is happening on the planet at this time. The days of being separate, the days of being being separated are ending. The institutions that want to keep us separate are ending. The days of inclusion are here. And if we don't do it, who's going to? If we don't do it, who's going to? Yes, Susan. Marianne is all about this, and we do know it. And regardless of the outcome of her efforts, right? It's not about whether Marianne wins or loses. It's not about whether Marianne is taken seriously by the mainstream. I highly doubt they will. I don't think they can hear her. I don't think they're listening. But we are. And what I know about Marianne, having now met her and spoken with her privately and personally, is I believe she will be championing this vision until her last day on this planet in that bodysuit. That she will be out there beating the drum, if you will. She will be out there leading the metamorphosis. And I don't want to sit on the sidelines. And I don't believe anyone watching this program wants to sit on the sidelines either. I believe that if you have been called to be a part of this network, if you have been called to be a part of what we're doing here, then you want to be in the game. Okay, I'm going to change that too, because it isn't a game. If we talk about Brene Brown, you want to be in the field. You want to be on the field. You want to be in the arena. Let's get in the arena. It all starts with this. It all starts with this. Head on over to commonway.org. Grab yourself a copy. We're going to study this book. And I tell you, I knew this was important when I first saw it. And it was probably almost 10 years ago that I first heard that I was introduced to this book. And the book is 23 years old already. And so I was late to the game. And I don't believe I've talked about it enough. We speak the words, a world that works for all. We speak the word, CSL uses the term, a world that works for everybody. We speak these words, and I want to do more than just create great content. Content is cool, and we're going to have to create a lot of really great content. But we also have to make sure that we're creating the content that fits the new society and has no concern whatsoever for those that can't hear, for those that aren't listening, and those that are never going to be able to hear. There is a great new society being birthed, and we're part of this. And I'm recognizing I'm about to run out of time, and I am repeating myself, so it's probably time. There is probably time. Oh, Susan, thank you. Yes, we are listening. I get that. There are. What I was saying is, I don't think that the current culture, in many ways, outside of New Thought, the pundits and the media and the politicians, I don't think they're listening, but I know we are. I know there are countless people that recognize the power of the platform that she is building and the truth of the words that she is sharing. Thank you, Susan. I love you too. And I've never even met you, but I'm looking for, oh, wait a minute. Maybe we have. Yes, we have. It's just been a long time. Welcome back. All right. I'm going to get out of here. Let's connect again. Let's stay in touch. Let's keep this conversation rolling. I'm not going anywhere except up. We're not going anywhere except into this new society. And I want every one of you to join me in this. The time is now. There is nothing more important than this work. I think it's about time we got about doing it. All right. I am going to get out of here for now. I love you. You are amazing. I look forward to being with you again so very soon. Where is my exit video? It's missing. There it is. All right. Until next time, dear ones, I love you. I wish you peace and richest blessings. Bye now.